Recent information suggests that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will be the first classic Call of Duty to come to Game Pass, and it's coming around very soon. Now, this isn't the first time that we've reported about this kind of topic on the channel here, as it was reported over a month ago that it was spotted that classic Call of Duty titles started to pop up in the Microsoft PC side of things on their storefront rather recently, as in back in December of 2024. So what's changed now? Why are we talking about this again when it comes to Call of Duty, classic Call of Duty coming to Game Pass? It's because we recently had some information about more specific dates and times and what games were actually going to be coming over to Game Pass here. Over here on Xbox Era reported about some leaked information about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 heading over to Xbox Game Pass. This is massive because not only is Modern Warfare 2 widely held as the most popular Call of Duty of all time, fan favorite, but really it's because people have been desperately wanting that Modern Warfare 2 classic multiplayer for the longest time. 4 years ago, we received the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered, which was actually very well done, even better than the Call of Duty 4 remaster, because I think this game just has a very special place in gamers' heart, especially for FPS fans, as this game really changed the landscape of FPS gaming, and people have been trying to chase that high of Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009, really honestly ever since. Like, Call of Duty fans are still today are wishing that they could have the same feelings that they had all the way back then with their Call of Duties as they did with this game. But now it seems like the multiplayer and most likely the campaign for the classic game, not the remastered, is going to be coming over to Game Pass. The game due to hit subscription services in March or April of this year, which honestly would be a perfect time frame to send this information out to people, right? Because it's really a perfect time between like the developer direct that we had back in January and the major showcase that's going to happen in every June, and the major showcase that happens every June with Xbox. And I don't feel like the announcement of having these classic titles coming over to the Game Pass system make it something that would be worth like a announcement at like a launch show, like a June Xbox showcase. This is something more, it's kind of like, hey, a nice little fun addition for all you Xbox fans out there. And to fit within Xbox's ecosystem, it needs to be on multiple platforms. That's why we recently saw these classic Call of Duties be put on the Microsoft Store for PC very recently when it comes to the, like, say for World at War, for example, right here. Within the same article, they do state that the 2008 World at War is on its way to come to Game Pass likely in May of this year. So it looks like they're going to be trying to do like a bit of a staggered release when it comes to these new, or say the classic titles coming over the PC side of things and Game Pass. It's very similar to what they did with the Master Chief Collection, where they started with Halo Reach back in 2019 in December, and then in March you had Combat Evolved, May, Halo 2 Anniversary and Halo Classic Halo 2, July, Halo 3, ODST, and then Halo 4. Finishing up with the PC releases back in November of 2020. The interesting thing though is that they're starting with Modern Warfare 2. Like, yeah, obviously it's gonna be the most popular one, probably the one that would have the most traction when it comes to players jumping on to play for these classic COD titles. But I feel like you would kind of do like a similar thing you would do, like so, like we did with like the Master Chief Collection, right? Where you kind of start with one that would be kind of like the start of the chronological order, so you can jump in and play logically when it comes to these releases, re-releases of these games. But I mean, it's also going to be pretty obvious. Like, it's like kind of like, say like if they started Master Chief Collection off with like Halo 3, that like it would kind of like make the following releases a little less impactful, right? Because people would just be like, when's Modern Warfare 2 coming out? And getting excited, letting that pent up energy continue on. It is also unclear. They don't really mention within the Xbox Era post if it's going to be just campaign or if it's going to be campaign and multiplayer when it comes to this edition. I would say, like, for most people, I would say 90% of people who want to jump in and play Modern Warfare 2 will jump on for the campaign, relive those memory berries, and then kind of move on to whatever they're actually playing consistently, right? The multiplayer, like, yeah, it's a classic. It definitely shows its age, especially when it comes to the balancing from compared to modern Call of Duties as well. And so, I mean, like, it would be cool to have that as an option. The servers are there, currently still available to be played on console and on PC right now. Though, if they're going to bother with it within the Xbox ecosystem, they want to try to move their servers over to Azure. I don't know how the back end of the whole thing works. I'm saying there are definitely things at play here. But I mean, a Modern Warfare 2 classic multiplayer being playable nowadays would be a big change of pace when it comes to what we're currently experiencing, or at least what the experience was been for the longest time for these Call of Duty games. Because if you guys remember, like a lot of the issues when it comes to the Call of Duty scene, with at least with these classic games, that really killed them all off was because there was just so much hacking and just terrible things happening online when it comes to these classic Call of Duties. And if you remember back in July of 2023, that thousands of Call of Duty fans are playing classic 360 titles thanks to the server fixes with these classic games, as in you have less laggy issues, you have less hacking. Just like if you can have some proper security when it comes to playing these classic Call of Duty games, because these are peer-to-peer connections, not dedicated servers, then it could be a potential benefit for players to be jumping in and playing. But the thing is that, like, the way even Call of Duty right now is, right, the most modern Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 is kind of busted when it comes to dealing with hackers and security issues right now. That how could they make these classic games that were less secure something that would actually be more playable than the modern Call of Duty? So I think there's kind of a bit of a give and take there. Personally, I would just like to see the campaign be added in for the classic experience. Because even though, yes, the multiplayer was fantastic, I'm not going to go back and grind out Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer with like the 500 people that will hop on that want to play this game or whatever for the time being. Like, it'll be fun for a month or whatever, and then people just go back to it. I mean, the people have been thirsting for a true Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 remaster, or at least on the multiplayer side of things. Apparently, Infinity Ward and Activision have been holding on to this ace up their sleeve for the longest time. But honestly, like, we kind of got like the remastered multiplayer with Modern Warfare 2019, right? When it came to that game release, like, if there was going to be a remaster of a Modern Warfare game, it would have been like Modern Warfare 2019. Instead, it was a brand new experience, which I actually would rather have rather than rehashing these old experiences here. And playing Modern Warfare 2 once again, like I said, like would be a fun little moment in time. Like, wow, these classic games are fantastic. But then I would go back to playing what I'm normally playing right now. As in, for me, likely it would just be Halo, or for multiplayer, and if Stalker, if I wanted to play a single player experience right now. But a staggered release for these classic Call of Duties put on the Game Pass would definitely still be a really cool experience, right? Like, imagine just like 1 month at a time, you get these new Call of Duty games, or classic Call of Duty games, I should say, starting with Modern Warfare 2, and then like we talked about earlier with World at War, mentioned about coming out in May, where Modern Warfare 2 comes out in like March or April timeframe, and then after that you have like Modern Warfare 3 that comes out, and then Black Ops 1 like a couple months after that, then Black Ops 2 like in like the October timeframe or something like that. I don't know, like, just be a really cool thing to see happen with Game Pass, especially since we kind of expected this to happen, right? Like, this is kind of the whole purpose of why Microsoft bought into Activision with $69 billion, because they want to bring all these people into the Xbox ecosystem. They want them to buy in the Game Pass to get these continuous funds so they can fund their gaming systems a lot better than just like these potentially, rolling the dice to see if like everyone wants to spend $70 on Avowed or whatever the next Call of Duty game might be at the time. So we're thinking like, yeah, this is a moment in time that's eventually going to happen, but we're not quite sure when. And now it seems like 2025 will be the year of classic Call of Duty coming over the Game Pass. So I'm super excited about that as a classic Call of Duty fan. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, I hope I earned your like, maybe even subscribe. And if you made this far in the video, leave a green heart in the comment. Let me know who the real ones are out there. If you missed any content from recently, check out these videos right here. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.